Galamsey,
Yeah.
this burning excavators now, the intellectual society is divided.
Yeah.
Something that this is property. It can be used for many things.
Yeah.
And the division includes people in MPP.
Yeah, yeah.
Why are you destroying property? If you arrive at the Galamsey place, the guy cannot proceed to do this. Okay, you take the excavator. On your screen is one such excavator. Let me see whether you can get a bent one. If you can get, if you can get a bent one, that would be good. But that's one such excavator. So you take the excavator from him. You can park it at Burma Camp. You can park it at Parliament House. Why are you burning it?
So first, it's not strange that even the intellectuals are divided. I mean, sometimes the Supreme Court itself splits down the line, 5-4, 6-3. Sometimes they go unanimous. But it is not strange in itself that even intellectuals are divided. Now, if you say that this is property being used for an illegal act, and therefore the option has to be to seize it and proceed to deal with it in a particular way, if you make that argument, it is an opinion that many people cannot fault you with. But I think we've been down that road before. And it turned out with more complications than an attempt to resolve the matter. Today, the instruction is very simple. And today, let's be careful. It's not an all-out war against small-scale mining or mining in any form. It is a specific exercise of mining in water bodies, which already is prescribed by law.
Yes.
So what you are doing is that you are using an asset.
So, Minister, look at this on your screen now.
Yeah, you are using an asset. Yeah, I know. You are using an asset to commit an illegality.
Yes.
That's what you are doing. And you are making an argument that, okay, so why don't they seize or preserve the asset? The instruction that the Ghana Armed Forces have is to remove all persons and logistics that are being used for mining in water bodies or about 100 meters from the water bodies.
100 meters?
Yes.
Some people say they are 500 meters.
Well, I'll come to that one. Those are the exceptions. And Paul, this gold business is got a lot of money involved in it. And if you are not clear and definite on what you want to do, you will never be successful with it. First of all, there is no...
Because of the power of influence?
Because of the power of influence. Let us all learn from our past. When Operation Vanguard was in full throttle, let's not lie to ourselves. When Operation Vanguard was in full throttle, and soldiers and policemen were embedded in the forest and around, we all agreed that they were being corrupted. They were being corrupted by miners, chiefs, politicians, all persons associated with it. And in the end, what we were looking for was not what we were getting fully. And so a totally different approach has been arrived at. And a red zone has been declared. Water bodies, not general concessions. Water bodies. So if you, I mean, first of all, the question must be asked, even before we come to this question about why don't you seize? The question, what is the excavator doing in the middle of a river?
But is that what is happening?
That is what is happening.
No, but they showed us videos where they are 200 meters away, like what you're seeing now.
They have
it's like a pond that they've drawn the water from somewhere.
No, if you have a good aerial video. And that's why the Ghana Armed Forces went with a helicopter. Because sometimes what you get is that people do one side filming and then come and tell a narrative on it. That's why the Ghana Armed Forces went with a whole helicopter.
To look at everything.
Yeah. And journalists to fly over and look at everything. So you have people who have put excavators in water bodies or around water bodies. That's one. You have people who have diverted the course of the river into ponds they have created. Go look at the Brim River now and the footage.
So when they divert the river to another place,
yes,
does the river get destroyed?
They create deep dams, deep ponds and dams. And then they divert the river into these dams, 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 10 dams. And now the bed where the river used to pass no longer has river there.
So it's turning. The river is now turning.
But it's no longer even flowing. It's now dammed into those dams. So if you look at the Brim and some of the other rivers, when you fly over the course, you can't find the river anymore. You find dams of water on the sides of the river. And now on what used to be the river bed is where the excavators are and are mining. That is a different technology from those who use the chamfan. They don't divert the water. They go put the chamfan in the river bed.
That's a smaller equipment.
Yes, and mine. Both are doing the same thing. So the instruction to the Ghana Armed Forces is quite clear. Demobilize. Make sure that no logistics are present for that purpose. Because nobody has any business being there. Now, if somebody says that I am not in the water body but I have been affected, that's a matter that can be investigated and dealt with.
Because no, they say they are 500 meters away. They have dams there.
I am coming.
And they've taken it from the river.
I am coming. I'll come to that. If somebody says I am not in the water body, so I am exempted, that can be investigated and a determination can be made. And if the soldiers have gone out of turn, it can be dealt with. But there are many other instances of people who are actually outside 100 meters, who have done a clever trick of connecting machines, so pumps and huge tubes into the water body, sucking the water onto their mining concession and pumping the dirty material back into the river.
I saw a soldier's video.
Same effect. Same effect.
So you may be 500 meters away.
But you are doing the same thing. And in that case, the soldiers will act.
And you may have Minerals Commission permit.
In fact, there was one mine, I think Kibi Gold Fields or something, which is a legitimate large-scale mine outside the 100 meters radius. They had been given permit by, I think, Water Resources Commission to pool water. What they were in reality doing was they were pulling the water and pumping the material back into the water. And therefore, they were affected by the operation. So, I don't think it's out of pleasure that the soldiers themselves or the government officials who are responsible.
Can't we carry the excavator away from there and bring it to
But you saw what happened when, the last time that was attempted. We've got to learn from our past. Let's not mince words about it. We have to learn from our past.
Okay, but can't you bring it to Bema camp? Bring all the excavators to Bema camp.
I'm saying that the soldiers have been given instructions to demobilize and to ensure that they are not there. And they have their own standard rules of operation on how they do that.
But they are burning trucks too, you know that.
Well, today, the instruction is what they are following. It may be unwholesome for persons who are involved. But I think there's clarity that mining in water bodies, and if you are not mining in a water body, you ought not to have a problem. Mining in water bodies, 100 meters away from water bodies, is prohibited. And if you are doing it, then these consequences will have to come to bear on what you are doing.
That's very, very... but of course, the issues about some important party people of your party and all that, that is being reported that they say that they have been affected by the exercise.
I've heard.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I heard some PR people say that, well, the MPP can say that we are administering a policy without fear or favor.
I don't think that the exercise that is going on is even focused on political colors. You recall that the National Consultative Dialogue that my brother Abu Jinapo led beautifully on behalf of the president, all parties were united that this must be fought. You had representatives of different political parties chairing different panels. They were united that this is a canker that must be dealt with. When we traveled to visit the Pra River, Paul, and I challenge you, go there with your camera crew. You'll be shocked if today it hasn't improved. You'll be shocked. At the banks of the Pra River, you would see for yourself chemicals. Aquatic life is gone in the Pra River. I tell you myself, aquatic life, you won't find fish in there. Dead, gone. Cyanide, mercury, etc. Chemicals. The Ghana Water Company Limited pumps that draw in water from the Pra to water stations for treatment. They are having to replace their drawing pumps on a regular basis because the kind of chemicals and mud that is coming from the Pra, even the machines can't sustain it. So if you are tackling a problem like this, it can't be a hanky-panky exercise of, what is comfortable. It is a difficult set of decisions that have had to be made. But I think there's a very simple solution. Don't mine in the water body. Don't go 100 meters away from the body.
So where do you get water from then? To wash your gold?
According to the small-scale mining processes and the Act, you dig your own dam, you dig your own borehole, you dig your own dam, draw water from your borehole, use it for your operations, and filter it back into the dam.
So you dig all the way till you meet water?
Yes, you dig your borehole, you create your dam, you use it for your processes, and then you discharge.
So you get a concession like this table?
Yes, you have to dig your own borehole.
So if I dig and I don't get water, or I will get water?
You have to dig until you find water there. I mean, look at those who are mining oil. You have to do your wells and do your seismic data. It's all part of the industry because the returns in that industry are quite significant. So you have to drill your own borehole, dig your own dams, pick water from your borehole to do your operations, go back into your dams and keep filtering your water for that purpose. But you are not allowed to come and draw water from the water body and discharge
back into
the waste with the chemicals, etc., back into the water body. You are not allowed to do that.
So where does AGC get water from?
Well, they would have to come up with their own water systems where they are operating for that purpose. And whether you're a large-scale mine or a small-scale mine is not the question here. It's about the practice. The war is against illegal and irresponsible mining. It's not about large-scale or small-scale or whether you have a license or not a license. You are not supposed to go into water bodies or 100 meters away from the bodies. You are not supposed to be discharging material into those water bodies. You are not supposed to be diverting the courses of rivers and mining in the river bed. And that is what.
How do you relate to the argument, finally on this one, how do you relate to the argument that we are collapsing people's businesses? The MPP government is collapsing people's
If you make that argument, then what you are suggesting is that any form of illegality, to the extent that the proprietor can claim it's a business, can be justified.
Okay, I get that.
And I don't think that that is the argument we want to uphold. I don't think so. And that is why there are legal ways of doing it. So it's not about somebody's business. Else, then everybody else can indulge in some illegality and say, that's my business. So is mining in water bodies a business that is allowed by law? Respectfully, the answer, as I know it to be, is no. If it is no, then you can't do it and say that your business is being collapsed. If you have a large-scale concession or a small-scale concession, and you are doing it in accordance with law, and somebody comes there under the pretext of this operation to affect, then you have a legitimate case, and that case can be looked in. I'll be the first to support you on that particular
Have your
matter.
constituents been affected by this?
Not that I am aware of. We don't have any significant mining in our area. There used to be some diamond operations around Adom-Otchere and its environs that come into our area, but no, not very significantly in our area.
I see. You don't have gold in you. Do you have a rivers in your area?
We do. The brim
it goes through.
Passes through parts of my constituency.